So I think you can't just take what has happened in a retail that's been driven by, in a market that's been driven by retail, and expect that once it matures and institutions get involved, that it's going to behave the same.
Please, you really think once this market surpasses $10 trillion, it's going to go back down to $2 trillion so that way you as a retail trader can re-enter in at a discount? Oh my goodness gracious, so many people are going to get left behind. Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video breakdown. In today's video, we're going to be diving into some ongoing developments happening right now on the XRPL, stressing the importance as to why we firmly believe everybody that holds the digital asset XRP or just digital assets in general should start to educate themselves on how to earn yield with these digital assets so that way in the future you do not have to sell yourself short for fiat currency. In today's video breakdown, we're going to be diving into fundamental developments, playing video clips for you guys, backing everything that we've been telling you all for over a year now, that DeFi developments on the XRPL will continue to develop and will create massive demand and bring utility to the digital asset XRP. So we're going to start here in today's video breakdown from a post that I put out to you guys on November 18th, 2024, just to show you guys that what we've been talking about is continuing to materialize and come into fruition. And then we're going to dive into some video clips from large institutional participants. We're going to be listening to David Schwartz as well. And I'm going to physically show you guys that institutions are 110% right now in this very moment participating in generating yield strategies with their digital assets. So I said David Schwartz and Marcus Imfinger, both from Ripple, have mentioned in the near future, XRP holders will have the ability to put their liquidity to work.
What an automated market maker does is it makes a return. It generates revenue from various different mechanisms, including spreads on its trades. And if you lend it your asset, your XRP or your USD or both, then you own a sort of share in the automated market maker and you benefit from the trades that that automated market maker makes.
Next from XRP Ledger, what's on your roadmap?
Yeah, so there's some amazing stuff happening. So first of all, an automated market maker has been released very recently and voted in by the community. That one's going live, which will obviously also be a native feature on the protocol, which brings more security and user safety and allows users to basically, put their liquidity to work.
The CTO of XLR also mentioned that he is excited about DeFi on the XRPL.
The one thing I'm most excited about happening on XRPL is finally opening up DeFi opportunities for for XRP. Right? Again, it's the biggest asset with one of the biggest communities that doesn't have DeFi, right? And being able to use this asset productively in DeFi, I think it's going to be a big thing.
We know XLR will be utilized as the bridge mechanism on the EVM sidechain.
The EVM sidechain is new. It's currently still in testing. It's going to go live pretty soon. But they will be two separate chains. There'll be asset portability between them with the XLR bridge.
People still don't see it. Mainstream influencers in the XRP community have everyone brainwashed into thinking that life-changing wealth will come from selling your XRP at $30 to $50 for fiat. They are dead wrong. Life-changing wealth will come to the individuals that understand how to use their XRP in DeFi to lend, to borrow, to provide liquidity, and to earn passive income for a lifetime. I said here, you used fiat to buy your XRP knowing that the old system is decaying, and now all these influencers have manipulated you into wanting to sell your XRP back into fiat when XRP hits a certain price target. So many people are about to fumble the ball on generational wealth because they are following the wrong people. And again, I'm going to solidify everything that I'm saying in today's video breakdown. If this is your first CYPRX video, go back and check out our yield playlist so that way you're up to date with what we've been talking about for over a year now. Now, for those of you all who have been paying attention, David Schwartz has recently appeared on two panel discussions, one from CoinDesk Live, which we'll get into today, and another one from ETH Denver, which we'll get into a second video breakdown to this one. And both panel discussions, David Schwartz was talking specifically about DeFi developments on the XRPL. Take a second and listen.
For the last so many years, talk to me from your standpoint, from building Ripple for so long, from going through the ups and downs at Ripple, being here today, what it means for you.
It's tremendously exciting. I feel like we really are on the cusp of a mass institutional adoption, both of DeFi and of other blockchain technologies. I think this is also like one of the key options. Tremendously exciting. I feel like we really are on the cusp of a mass institutional adoption, both of DeFi and of other blockchain technologies.
That is coming directly from David Schwartz. After you guys have already heard some of the previous video clips that I played for you all, we are on the cusp of mass institutional adoption of DeFi, right? That is huge. And especially considering the fundamental piece that Ripple put out from February 25th, 2025, titled Institutional DeFi on the XRP Ledger, What's Live and What's Next. If you guys have not thoroughly read through this and you actually understand what is coming, it would behoove you all to take it upon yourself to go through and thoroughly read this. Keep in mind, this came out after we put this post out to you guys, showing you guys that Ripple executives for the longest time have been touting institutional grade DeFi and generating yield with your digital assets. Now, let's dive down the institutional rabbit hole real fast. I want to show you guys that these large financial institutions are 110% interested in DeFi and are actively utilizing it right now. So many people think that the next cycle that we're going to live through in the digital asset landscape is going to replicate other historical cycles in crypto. And that is, again, a wrong perspective to have. People need to know that when financial institutions come into this space, it's not going to be the same, especially when these institutions are not selling their digital assets and instead are conducting yield generating strategies to hold their digital assets and generate yield with them. Now, throughout the entirety of this video breakdown, keep in mind that we've had individuals on stage say that DeFi brought utility to ETH.
Years ago, DeFi actually brought utility to ETH, right? Now, if you're holding ETH, you can lend it, you can borrow, you can stake, you can do so many things.
And I've told you guys that the same thing is going to happen when XRPL DeFi really starts to pick up mainstream and institutional adoption. We're going to see the same net positive reaction. There's going to be a surging demand for the digital asset XRP when people really start to realize that you never have to sell your XRP and instead can participate in yield generating strategies and just earn passive rewards with your XRP. Now, here is a video clip for those of you all who haven't heard this of a representative on stage from a large organization going on to talk about how institutions are building out a brand new infrastructure, that DeFi has matured and it's not going away.
Institutions. So when I first entered the space in 2017, I came from Fidelity. And at the time, the conversation was, okay, when are the institutions going to enter blockchain and really make this a more legitimate space? And this conversation has been happening for the past 7 years. But if you look at the market today, I don't think there's an institution that would say crypto is going away. In fact, this year we saw one of the largest financial institutions, BlackRock, partner with a company, Securitize, one of our portfolio companies, to tokenize their own fund called BIDL. And if you look at this trend, RWA stands for real world assets. Real world assets is any sort of asset that you can tokenize on chain. Regardless of the numbers on this graph, it's up and to the right. And I think what we're seeing is a shift from theory to actual live production on the institutional side. And then the last data point that I want to talk about is DeFi. And, I'm not really going to talk about DeFi as a sector, but what I want to point out is when DeFi was first starting out in 2018, or, you can sort of decide what date that would be, it was an experiment. We were rebuilding the financial infrastructure from the ground up. But now, 5 or 6 years later, DeFi has withstood a number of major shocks to its system, whether that's COVID, the regional banking crisis in the US, or even our own crypto cycle with, FTX and other players. And through it all, DeFi continued to work, and we are seeing players like Aave and Uniswap prove to be resilient and prove that the technology works. And this is a brand new infrastructure that didn't exist just a couple of years ago.
Right? You need to understand how important this is because so many people, like I said in the previous post, are about to get left behind. Individuals that think that previous market cycles are going to be the same market cycles that prove themselves moving forward. It's so illogical to think that. We have never seen mass institutional adoption of digital assets, and that is all about to happen for the first time over the next consecutive couple of years.
And this is a brand new infrastructure that didn't exist just a couple of years ago.
People that think that we're going to see a $10, $15 XRP price target, and then for price to pull back all the way to $2.50 for them to re-enter into discounted positions again, that is I'm talking about the most illogical thing to think right now. And let me not just back what it is that I'm saying from my retail perspective. Let me show you guys industry-leading experts say the same exact thing, that the cycles moving forward are not going to be the same as previous cycles as more institutions come on board. We're going to listen real fast. I just want to show you this gentleman's credentials, okay? This is Felix Stratman, the gentleman in which you're going to be listening to. Felix spent 8 years at Morgan Stanley, 2 of which were served in the debt capital markets within investment banking, and the remaining 6 in the fixed income research department, where he attained the title of vice president. At Morgan Stanley, Felix focused on U.S. corporate credit markets. He authored or contributed to numerous publications, including foundational work on the application of systemic investment strategies. So I'd take into consideration what people like this with actual valid credentials have to say. Take a second and listen.
That perhaps investment managers fall into, and what should we be aware of?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think one thing that I've kind of been thinking about today, even, is just I think you hear a lot of people talking about how the crypto space is purely narrative driven. You have to understand the narrative, and that's all there is to it. But I think that's a fact of the market because it is primarily retail driven now. And the other big thing everybody talks about is the institutions coming. And institutions aren't going to behave like retail investors. So I think that when you're creating a trading strategy, an investment strategy, you want to be focused on how the market is going to evolve, not exactly how it's been. How it's been, coincidentally, has not been around for very long. You're working off of 5 to 10 years of good data. So I think you can't just take what has happened in a retail that's been driven by, in a market that's been driven by retail, and expect that once it matures and institutions get involved, that it's going to behave the same. So I think that, just following the hype, just looking at narrative, I don't think that's a sustainable source of alpha, just to be, sniping the next big narrative that gets big on Twitter. So I think, again, it comes back to, are you invested in projects that have long-term fundamental values, the token structured in a way?
So I'll leave it right there. That is, again, coming from an individual in this space with many credentials, was an ex-vice president of Morgan Stanley, saying that you should be paying attention to,
when you're creating a trading strategy, an investment strategy, you want to be focused on how the market is going to evolve, not exactly how it's been.
You should be paying attention to ongoing developments in the space. And I'm trying to physically show people that Ripple is heavily fixating their attention on institutional DeFi, and it is for a specific reason. These large financial institutions that are going to come on chain, they don't want to just hold these digital assets and benefit from price appreciation alone, like all the retail herd.
But I think that's a fact of the market because it is primarily retail driven now. And the other big thing everybody talks about is the institutions coming. And institutions aren't going to behave like retail investors. So
they want to benefit from price appreciation and yield generation. And they're going to offer these solutions to their clients, where their clients are even going to be able to generate yield with these digital assets through staking, lending services, borrowing services, liquidity. I mean, it's so crazy what's happening right now, and people don't even see it. This video breakdown, by the way, to prove my point that nobody's paying attention to this stuff, has 60 views and was updated from February 20th, 2025. Okay. This just solidifies the perspectives that I'm trying to paint for you all, that nobody is tapped into this info. So many retail traders really truly think that they're going to have the opportunity to sell these digital assets at some high-end price and get back into the market at a market pullback after the institutions come in. Think about how stupid that sounds, people, please. Please, you really think once this market surpasses $10 trillion, it's going to go back down to $2 trillion so that way you as a retail trader can re-enter in at a discount? Oh my goodness gracious, so many people are going to get left behind. Whereas vice versa, compare that to somebody that understands DeFi, understands how to get their digital assets working for them, never has to sell their XRP, and just constantly generates yield, recompounds that yield back into their positions, and generates more XRP, right? Compare the two. Who do you think is going to survive long term? Again, which is why here in the CYPRX Wealth 28 Club, we stress the importance of learning about DeFi. You do not have to go out and risk your XRP and deploy into the DeFi ecosystem to learn, but I highly suggest you guys take it upon yourself to go through a mentorship program, go through a course, go through an educational platform, and learn about DeFi. If you don't, take that approach, go learn about it on your own behalf. Go watch panel discussions, go read documents, go do the research, because this is happening whether you like it or not. Let me prove to you guys that institutions are for a fact utilizing DeFi and are telling you all that the foundational infrastructure for institutions to come into the DeFi space is happening now. So this is a fundamental panel discussion from a Signum representative that was only uploaded 9 months ago. This has 174 views. Listen to what this gentleman from Signum here says before we get into the document from Signum from recent times, proving that they are utilizing yield-bearing strategies on their digital assets right now in the moment.
Think about decentralized finance, institutional-grade decentralized finance. There might also be, despite the fact that it was suffering the last couple of months and years for different reasons, including regulatory reasons, just natural development of technology and getting more mature. Same thing could be for decentralized finance. The efficiency, empowerment, financial inclusion, different topics that really drive intrinsic value of that. But it's a fact. This is only true, and that's the disclaimer, if it's done right. And I think that decentralized finance has been a lot of learning, development, and it's now the time when decentralized finance is ready for institutions to be utilized.
It is now the time for decentralized finance to be utilized by institutions. All at the same time, you got a Ripple coming out, putting out fundamental pieces from this year, talking about institutional DeFi on the XRPL, what's coming. You got David Schwartz at recent ongoing events, specifically, talking about literally only DeFi on the XRPL and DeFi developments, enterprise DeFi, retail DeFi. This is insane that people are not seeing what's happening. So now let me further my case. If we come over here, this is a Signum report titled Signum Crypto Yield Fund from the 31st of January, 2025, as you guys can see in the top right-hand corner. And what does this document go on to say? Despite negative price performances driven by political tensions, tariffs, and tightening liquidity, yield strategies remain resilient. If we come right down here, it says overall structured yield strategies remain robust, maintaining positive, stable returns despite market challenges, right? Then if we come right down here, it says Signum's investment strategy. The product invests in yield-generating strategies in crypto, including lending, funding, arbitrage, and liquidity provision within the crypto markets. This offers investors an interesting opportunity with a favorable risk-to-return profile to provide access to best-in-class yield-generating strategies and to maintain flexible and dynamic market environments. The product may invest in both industry-leading investment managers and the highest quality in-house investment solutions. And again, they're talking about this Signum Crypto Yield Fund. This is massive. Shout out to the CYPRX researchers for this post. This is so crazy that people aren't even paying attention. This was posted 5 days ago from Signum Bank. This is Marcus Hammerly, the Signum Deputy Head of Asset Management, who talks about the Signum Crypto Yield Fund. So again, we have a fundamental piece from January 31st, 2025. And then if we come over here, this is only posted 5 days ago from the Signum Bank. So this is all updated information, right? Listen to what this gentleman says here.
My name is Marcus Hammerly, and I'm Deputy Head of Asset Management at Signum, a global digital asset banking group. At Signum, we build investment solutions designed to help our investors achieve their financial goals with confidence. Generating steady returns while minimizing drawdown risk is at the core of the Signum Crypto Yield Fund. For investors seeking stable yields beyond traditional markets and directional crypto strategies, our fund presents.
I just wanted to play that video clip real fast. I'm not going to play the entire minute and 51-second video, but this just goes to debunk all the naysayers out there that are saying, oh, institutions aren't participating in DeFi yield strategies. They're not going to give their clients access to any of these yield-bearing strategies with crypto. This is physical proof that this is happening right now, solidifying everything that we've been attempting to show you guys here in the CYPRX Wealth 28 Club. This is happening whether you like it or not. You should get educated, make an attempt to learn about DeFi yield-bearing strategies, how to generate passive income with your digital assets, because this is the future. Everything that has happened prior to, let's say, 2023 is old news. All the hodl strategies and just selling your crypto for some high-end price and retiring, and that's all like the old mindset. The new mindset now, the new wave is DeFi, taking your digital assets, never having to sell them, deploying them in the DeFi ecosystem and generating yield with them, right? Creating real generational wealth. I cannot stress enough that now is the time to learn how to do this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's you take a course, you take a mentorship program, you read documents, you're doing research like this inside the CYPRX research channel, where you're tapped into, institutional perspectives from large financial institutions like Signum that are talking about this stuff. Now is the time, okay? If you're being misled to believe that you're going to have the opportunity to sell your digital assets like XRP at some high-end price, $20, $30, $40, $50, after institutions come in, right, and then buy back in at a discount and time all of that properly, you're being misled to and lied to. It's so clear as day. Anyways, as always, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the platform. Again, diversification is key. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm going to be the type of individual to deploy all my XRP into DeFi strategies. Yeah, there's going to be a portion of my XRP that I sell some fiat for, buy myself something nice. But the vast majority of my XRPs, are they going to sit in cold storage, or it's going to be deployed in DeFi, generating me passive income? And I'm going to hold it on for life, pass it over to my children, teach my children about this stuff, have them pass it on to their children. And it's just going to stay in my generational family bloodline for years and years and generations to come. As always, many blessings to you guys. Now is the time to learn, to get educated, and to not be distracted by the mainstream hype surrounding crypto, and understand what the institutions are fixating their attention on behind the scenes. Yield-bearing strategies, lending, borrowing, liquidity provision. We now have the power to be our own banks. And when you understand that, you understand the power that these digital assets truly hold, and you can take advantage of it. As always, if you guys want to learn more about DeFi, how we are deploying our digital assets in the DeFi ecosystem right now, risking thousands of dollars of our own capital to generate yield with our digital assets, head over to CYPRXtrading.com, tap into the Wealth 28 Club. We'd love to have you on the team. And if not, keep tapping into the free content. Make sure that you're subscribed to the CYPRX YouTube. Smash that thumbs up button, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube video breakdown.